We are here in the New Forest in southern England, looking at this fascinating mosaic of big old oak trees, open thorn bush, bluebells, open areas of grassland, and this quite complex, quite open mosaic of plants of different forms. And now this might feel rather unusual compared to many woodlands in Britain, which you tend to think of a more closed canopy. And yet there's evidence increasingly that this is the baseline of what we should expect in terms of the ecology of Europe. And if we go back to a time before humans with a similar climate, this landscape is perhaps what the woodlands of Britain and of Western Europe look like. And I'm here to talk to visiting student Søndergaard about the evidence for this and what it tells us about what we should think about in terms of conservation in Europe.
Yes, absolutely, Yadvinder. I mean, as you say, it is a very different structure to the modern temperate forest. And you can feel it standing here. It's a warm spring day, and you can feel the warmth and the energy coming down from the sun through these sort of veteran oak canopies. And you're right that when we've studied trying to understand what pre-human temperate vegetation looks like, and it seems from pollen evidence and different fossil proxies, it seems that basically the light-loving and the shade-loving part of the European biota, they coexisted. On large scales, we see clear evidence that grassland species were living in proximity with forest species, and probably the open woodlands here of New Forest can sort of be maybe a reminder or maybe a way forward for sort of understanding how the temperate species pool can be supported in one general structure where you have both the veteran trees and you have the understory, which can be rich in herbaceous plants.
And what was shaping this? Why?
Yes.
Now we have humans and ponies and things. Now, what created this type of ecosystem?
So it seems that the missing link, the most surprising thing when you look back to pre-human Europe is not necessarily the structure, because the plants were the same completely. The one key difference was that the fauna was much more like the African savanna than really the modern European landscape. So everything from elephants to rhinos to hippos to giant deer, aurochs and horse, and the carnivores were also here, lions and hyenas, and probably especially the elephants, the straight-tusked elephant, and sometimes at times mammoths also came through here. At least what we see from their native regions in Asia and Africa are great shapers and movers of vegetation structure. Bull elephants will topple trees, it seems, from fun, just out of fun. So, and the straight-tusked elephant was larger, significantly larger than the African elephant. So it was probably key to sustaining this light openness right up until its disappearance, which was probably driven by human hunting and habitat loss. So this is basically, we're now living in the first time in 20 million years where these forests, these temperate European forests, are not shaped by elephants. And I think this has deep consequences for diversity and the functioning of these ecosystems.
So what it seems to say is that disturbance, this great churning created by animals in this area, maybe by fires in other areas, is a big shaper of the vitality, of vibrancy of ecosystems such as this.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.